I actually did see you put a bit more wine into your own, but I thought you were going to give me the bigger one.
It's hard to tell. Sorry, you drank more.
It's Christmas.
Yeah, you have the bigger one. I'm just going to spill it everywhere.
Okay, cheers.
Cheers. You have to look me in the eye.
Oh, okay. Make a Christmas wish.
And you have to have a drink.
Oh, okay.
Do you not know the rules of cheersing?
I'm from the country. I'm country bumpkin. Do you know another thing that we don't do? And it really shocked me. So whenever people get food at the restaurant, we just eat in Tyrone, up north.
Oh, you don't wait for everyone to get the food?
No, we just eat. What do you mean? When there's food on the table, you eat?
No.
Yeah.
I'm going to get cancelled in the first few minutes. Maybe you shouldn't have wine.
Hello and welcome to the Sinead Says podcast. This is it's given OG. It's giving 2021. 2020?
Well, when did you start the podcast?
2020, in the midst of COVID.
Yeah, well, I was there.
Yeah, but I started in my room with no microphones. I was literally on my laptop.
When? What country were you in?
And I was in Ireland. And I was in my room and I did it with Ed.
Oh, yeah.
That was the first episode. Because he was like, you should be allowed to like photos. And I was like, we need to do a whole podcast on the fact that men should not like photos.
I think I must have been on the second or third episode then.
Yeah, you were. Yeah, I went back and
before you went big time.
No, this is the same as it always was. Same sponsor. Still me and Kyle. You know what I mean? We didn't go big. We just stayed within our means.
You've done live shows and everything. That was very impressive.
Yeah, the live shows were a pretty big deal for me. It freaked me out so much. Actually, speaking of live shows, we have a live show in Sydney on the 15th of January.
Hate to be able to go.
Oh my God, please.
Oh my God, no. To be honest, I was looking. It's too soon.
Honestly, can you do that? Because I am meant to be sorting out my guests this week and I have not done that yet.
I'm not surprised.
I know, but it's 4 weeks away, right? And
you didn't put me on the list for the last one.
I know. I did put you on the list.
No, you didn't.
Well, you should pay for a ticket to see everyone else.
No, she kept texting everyone she kept putting on her close friends going, this is my list. Did I miss anyone? And I was like, yeah, me. And then she's like, oh, sorry, babe, sorted. And I'm like, okay. And then she put it up again and was like, I actually thought you were joking. You're like, did I miss anyone? And I was like, me. And then she was like, oh my God. And then I got to the Helix and the guest list place. I was like, Siobhan. And they're like, can't find it. I was like, to be honest, sorry, she probably didn't put me on. And then I was like, but I swear, she's one of my best friends. I don't know how I should prove it. And then, I don't know, someone was like, come with me, and they brought me in backstage. And
but I feel like, you
didn't put me on the list.
I feel like you should understand now because, I'm almost diagnosed with ADHD. I'm almost there. I went to the doctors.
Yeah, a lot of things would make sense.
Oh, I 100, I could bet my life on it. I went to the doctors to get my referral because I need to get my referral. And I forgot to ask her for the referrals, and they're chatting to her about stupid things.
I know, because I do, I think, was it Kegs that's talking about it? Kegs talking about symptoms.
Yeah, did he get diagnosed?
I don't know if he got diagnosed, but he definitely, I think, was talking about symptoms anyway. And I was like, that sounds like Sinead.
Oh,
about the time, about having a different concept of time.
So I know. Do you know the way me and Siobhan, obviously, also hello, this is Siobhan.
Hi. Are we recording?
Yeah, we are recording. But Siobhan is my best friend. She doesn't live with me now, and it's not so fun. But if you are new to the podcast, which I feel like if you've listened to it, you're gonna know who Siobhan is. So she's
probably not.
So she's.
I used to be good crack.
No, you're good crack. I just never see you anymore because you're a child.
Yeah. No, I'm not pregnant. It's child. But I have a child. She is asleep here.
I know. She's there. We can see her. She's so cute. Oh my God.
I'm biased, but I'm like, she is.
She is. She's so good.
She's so much fun. She's a year and 15 months. That's what we say. I was trying to say a year and a half, whatever. It's not. It's 15 months. And it's so much fun.
We're going to talk about you being a mum because, wow,
no one saw that coming.
You actually listened to the last podcast with Siobhan. I actually had to listen to it on the way up the road, and I was like, things have changed. So me and Siobhan have live together, same industry, met through Instagram. You know, you are a fitness, well, you do self-improvement project now instead of the fitness stuff. So it's kind of like an all-rounder.
Yeah, like it is. It's training, nutrition, mindset, but also like taking in women's health. I've got women's health physio. I've got a registered dietitian. Hashtag own brand. Sounds like I'm straight into an ad. But yeah, no, that's my main business is online fitness coaching, and then doing the influencing as well.
That's how we met. And like we've had a few episodes together. We've had a very interesting life together, but now it's very, very different.
So different.
So just interrupting this podcast to talk about our sponsor, BetterHelp. BetterHelp is an online therapy platform. We all know I'm a big advocate for therapy. Today we're talking about moms, being a new mom, being a single mom.
I used it when I was pregnant.
How did that go?
Great.
Needed.
Yeah, it was needed.
Even does it sometimes vent?
Yeah.
Sometimes to just have someone there, have a little space, detangle your thoughts and give you the tools, I guess, to help you navigate that. And that will probably help you be the best for your child.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. So if you would like to join therapy, we have 10% off your first month with betterhelp.com/Sinead. That is betterhelp.com/Sinead. Honestly, guys, this was the biggest, what would you call that, a turnaround?
Yeah.
For me, it was the hottest tea ever whenever she was pregnant. Like I was like, what the fuck?
Because I used to say openly on my story that I didn't want kids.
And me
on
and
the podcast, on all the like, I didn't, and I honestly didn't.
Me and Siobhan used to debate about kids because obviously, you know what I've been like. I've always wanted to have kids, always want to be a mom. Like I'm obsessed with kids. And and she used to be like, yeah, but like, and we would have debates at dinner, like, and I'd be like, well, no, but kids are like the meaning of life.
I just didn't get it. And like, obviously it's completely changed now. And for me, looking back now, because I do always think about like, I still think I would have had a very good life without having kids. Like, it's just a different life. And like, because people used to always say to me, obviously when I said didn't want kids, they'd say, you'll change your mind. And no, I did. But I also think if you see, I wasn't maternal. Like, I think, like, I looked at other kids and was like, no interest in them. Now, sometimes when my close friends had babies and stuff, then I was like, okay, I get it, because it's like that kind of special when you know the relationship and everything. But it was the way of life that I just didn't want. Like, I looked at people in playgrounds and was like, that looks so boring. Or like, I saw people on the side of a pitch and be like, imagine having to stand on the side of a pitch. But I have since realised that my joy now comes from seeing her happy. Yeah. Like, I get excited about watching a cartoon that she loves.
Yeah.
So, but I never got that part. Like, I'm like, why would anyone, I'd hate to be watching a cartoon or I'd hate to be doing that. But I'm like, it's not about me anymore. It's about her. And the joy I get from her being happy. Gotta get deep.
I understand.
First.
Yeah, like, I understand what you mean, because like I said this the other day, that when I watched my brother laughing at his little girl just go down a slide and he's finding so much joy in her going down the slide, I'm like, I want that. I don't want all this other stuff now, like going out drinking, blah blah. Like I've changed my, not changed, but like for me, I know now that like, you know, that way of life is something that I definitely want soon. But
see, I never looked at people and thought that. That's probably the difference. Like, I never got that. And it was only, I suppose it was when my sister got pregnant, I was so happy and it was like, this is amazing for my family. Like, again, I was like, for you. But I mean, at the time I had kind of changed my whole perspective though at this stage. You know, I keep saying my values changed, but like, was it me just getting older? Was I just getting, like, a big part of me not wanting kids was because of the lifestyle I had. And there was no way to fit that in. Like, I pictured having kids as, you know, being in a solid relationship and, you know, settling down. And like, the whole time I just loved that freedom of being in Bali, being in Thailand, being wherever I wanted. And like, that just didn't even work with even having a relationship, because it was like, I'm only here for a month. What's the point? I
think that was it's just, you thought that was the way you wanted life, when in fact, like, that's just an era of life.
Yeah.
Like, every era is like, you want to party in your 20s, you want to be free in your 20s, and then like, then you
I feel like I only started doing that in my 30s. So that's why I thought like I'd missed the maternal feeling. Because, you know, like, other people my age were settling down and having kids, and I was you know, when I was turned 30, I went off traveling. So that's why I thought, so like I was 34 and living like, you know, hanging around with 24-year-olds in Bali and didn't feel like that I should be doing anything else until, I had that existential crisis and was like,
oh guys, I can't even tell you. Like, do you remember I came back from the meditation camp?
Yeah.
Meditation jail. Anyway,
meditation jail.
I went and I was training, and I like went to this very intense meditation training, and it was like I was doing my silence. I come out of my silence. Now, bearing in mind, now Siobhan and me are very different. I'm very spiritual. My you know.
I mean,
head in the clouds, as they would say.
Oh yeah, I came back.
So you had your crisis in the middle of my meditation guru jail, and I came back, and I was like, hello. I
also turned very spiritual, and
in 4 days or something. I was like,
no, basically, I did a lot of breath work, and like it got me like breath work. It basically just makes you high off your own breath, and you feel like you're like. For me, it was like asking questions to my subconscious. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
And that whole weekend, I changed. I remember because it was Darren sent me this video trying to like rile me up because there's your man Skinny Gaz.
Oh yeah.
Talking about how the laptop lifestyle isn't sustainable and how there's joy in day-to-day life. And I was like, oh my God, what if he's right? And I couldn't sleep that night. Like I literally was like lying there going, is he right? Like, is this, you know, because he talked about how that like the whole living on the beach and the Thailand thing, it's like eating fast food all the time. It's like just you're constantly in this like dopamine where your life needs a bit of a struggle.
Yeah.
For purpose. And that's what I think I was really missing was purpose.
Like doing your washing?
No, I still don't like doing that. I'm like, that's the part of it. Like I love having a child, but I hate running a household.
Yeah.
I still have yet to find the joy in doing the washing. But like even doing jiu-jitsu and all that, like I loved that struggle. And I was like, I think that I needed that in my day-to-day life because I used to live like, am I happy? Yes, don't change anything, which was grand. But it meant then I wasn't getting challenged anyway. Like my business was running great. I was training away. I was happy, you know, like, but I wasn't fulfilled, let's say. But I didn't realize that because I was just not looking for, I was like, am I happy? Yes, don't change anything.
Do you think deep down you thought you didn't deserve like that family life? So you never seeked it?
I no, because I think growing up I thought that's what I would have. And again, it wasn't that I didn't want a partner. It was that I wanted this lifestyle more than anything, as in the
freedom,
digital nomad, all that. So it like I was like even, but then in Bali, like dating was just a bit awful. You know, like
dating in Bali,
and I felt awful.
I never actually dated in Bali though.
Yeah, like
so
you're having too much fun going out with your friend. Like you're out every night with people. It's not like you're like sitting home going, "Oh, I'll just go and Hinge tonight." And like you're out for dinner and lunch, and then you're going to bed and you're getting up. Like you're just social.
I feel like Bali just plays such a vital part in your life, though. Like I feel like it's an era. It's not a sustainable. Well, you definitely can have a sustainable lifestyle there. Obviously, we were there and we. Like you wanted to live there. I never wanted to live there. I was always there on the part-time. So I never had that like urge to live there.
I did. Like I thought about putting down roots a couple of times. Like, you know, like got long-term rentals.
No, that's what I meant. You did. I never had that experience. But because I was always moving to Australia because it was always my home.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because you got locked out and yeah. No, but Bali for me was I didn't really have the interest in going to Australia. But I didn't know where else I'd go. Like so I think that's where I started getting a bit like.
Yeah, but I think when I look at it, so that was your first experience of like traveling as well. So you were like, wow, look at this other life. Like that was like me when I went to Maglev. Like I was like, wow, you know, like I get to work 6 months of the year and blah, blah, blah. Like, but obviously, as you say, like when you do these things, they're like experiences and they're eras. And then like you move into your like not struggle, like, but you move into your normality then.
Yeah, I think then I started
security.
Yeah, exactly. I started craving security a bit more. And like I did that breath work and I came out of it and was like, I'm moving to London. And it's so funny because I remember.
No, guys, can we just talk about this for a second? Because you can imagine that, like, I'm away in my meditation camp. I'm like, I'm going to take the piss out of Siobhan. Remember I said this to you?
You're like,
Siobhan in my spiritual journey, she's like, come on, like, hop yourself on. Like, she's science-based. And I'm like, No, I seen my
You text me
angel.
even like, yeah, I saw God or something. And
So I was like,
oh
I
my
want to
God,
confess
that's
that
amazing. But I was trying to be supportive. It's not like I believed you. Like I was trying to be supportive.
I was like, I text Siobhan. I goes, right, I'm going to take the piss out of Siobhan here. She's just going to tell me to shut up. And I just goes, come out of my silence. I seen God. And you goes, oh my God, that's amazing. What did he say? And I was like, where are you okay?
Yeah, so I also was going through a bit of a spiritual. So yeah, I did this breath work. And like it's so weird. Like again, if anyone else told me this, I remember like it's such a weird feeling. But I remember saying I was going to London to chase love. And I remember Jamie saying, what, like for a man? And I remember like, no, it was like this just a feeling of love in my belly. And I remember saying that without thinking anything of it. And until the day I did the pregnancy test, it was also the day I had to do I was doing the breathwork facilitator training online. And I'd forgotten about that. And I was only just telling someone about it. And then I realized, it's like, oh my God, did I just manifest getting pregnant? As in, like, I was like, I didn't, like, when I thought about this feeling of love in my belly, and then I was like, oh my God, I'm pregnant. I mean, there's a lot happened in
like
between.
when you were actually pregnant.
Yeah. Like, and I was like, and it was the day I was doing the breathwork teacher course that I realized I was pregnant. Yeah. Anyway,
so
that's
like you
story.
decided that when you were doing your breath work, so you did your breath work and you were like, there was just something more in life. And it's weird because you just did a 3-year like rant basically. I remember that. And then I came back from it and you're like, actually I'm coming home with you. I was like, I'm sorry.
No, I was always going home for the summer, but I just kind of was like, I don't think I'm going to come back. Yes, and I didn't really tell anyone. I kind of left because I didn't want to make a big deal of it. I was just kind of like, yeah, back in like August. And I kind of knew. I remember when we got the taxi to the airport, I was so sad. Like I was just looking around going, I think I'm leaving Bali forever. And then I was happy again because then we were flying home.
We had a great flight. We had a lovely flight.
How life has changed.
So yes, and then next thing she was pregnant, and that was the craziest experience for me. Like as your friend who you've known like for years and years and years, your best friend who you've lived with, who's always said that she is not going to have kids, and for her to call me on a random Tuesday.
I can't remember.
I even remember what I was wearing. I remember like just being and she was
Emma was in the house with you because I remember being like, obviously don't tell anyone, and you were like you were screaming.
She was like, yeah. I wasn't screaming. I couldn't breathe. Couldn't see. I felt like I was having a mental breakdown. I was like, she just goes, and I'm pregnant. And I goes, I like completely froze for probably 3 minutes.
I'm not surprised. Yeah. I mean, I was surprised. Yeah. I mean, it obviously wasn't the most ideal situation to be pregnant in. Like, and that's where I know like people.
Was there no question about it at that time? Like you were just having that baby and that was the start?
Oh no, there was, because I think I know, and I had changed my mind about wanting kids. But I was like, I wanted to be like in a long-term relationship, settled, living together. And this was like, obviously we weren't seeing each other long. I was living in London. It meant I'd have to move home to Dublin. It meant I've given up jiu-jitsu. It meant having to tell the world, you know, like the way, like how it happened. And it was like, it was just I just thought this was not how I wanted it to happen. But deep down I was like, God, I know that I really, really do want kids, because I wanted, like, obviously I could have changed the situation.
Yeah. But you were happy about being pregnant.
That I wanted, like, as I said, not in that situation, it wasn't perfect, but I knew deep down that I wanted a baby. And then I was like, oh my God,
there was a reason.
I don't think I could get rid of this. It's so weird saying get rid of when I'm like, it's my daughter now. But I at the time I was like, I don't think I can, because what if this is my only shot? What if this is supposed to happen? What if
that was the plan all along?
Yeah. So
you're believing in the fate of stars now?
No.
Fuck's sake.
I'd love to be a bit more. And there are like signs and things. I'm like, and especially when it's such like sliding door stuff that, like, you know, if any of that didn't happen, like, this would not be my life. Like, where would my life be? It'd be so, like, what country would I be in? Like, where? I never thought I'd want to live back in Dublin, never mind swords. And now my values have like completely changed. You know, like I want to be near my family. I want to have, you know, like my days are so simple now. Like I tried doing Vlogmas there and I was like, my life is so boring. But like, it's because the joy is in these little things that I don't show. You know, like it's in just, I don't know, just day-to-day stuff. So yeah, life is, it's mad when I'm like, what could have happened?
Yeah. But this is what I always say to you as well. Like, you know, people ask me, they're like, oh, would you ever move home or would you ever? And I'm like, oh, you never say never.
Never
like,
say
not,
never, yeah.
You used to say never. And I say, stop doing this one.
No, I remember putting up a post and I wrote an email, I think, talking about not wanting kids. And I remember putting at the end, being like, this is how I feel at the moment, but to any future kids that are reading this, I'm open to changing my mind.
Yeah.
So I knew it was how I felt right then. And it was like at that time, it wasn't like I don't want kids now, but I want them in the future. It was like I would happily live my life without kids. But now I'm
that
really glad I got to experience. Yeah, I'm really glad that I was lucky enough to have it happen, because I feel like I got to experience like kind of almost two very different lives, which a lot of people do, obviously. But also I know that there's people who want kids that aren't as lucky, or people who, you know, don't find them that, and they don't know that what they're missing out on. Which that's where I think I would have been. I don't think I would have been regretting it. I think I would have, because I wouldn't have known. Like, even I'm so glad even just to have this I suppose experience with my sister. So like I'd be like, oh my God, you have a kid, cool, and I would be so excited about my niece. But I understand, like me and my sister are going through the same thing at the same time. Like I wouldn't have been able to understand that at all. So I don't think, I think if I would have been like, the mysterious aunt with loads of money that is traveling in and out. So I think I would have been happy, maybe not fulfilled. I would have been happy, like just doing whatever I wanted for the rest of my life.
Yeah. Very interesting. I wonder if like people who like don't want to have kids and they follow you, would your experience change their mind?
I know, and I've had people ask me that. You know, I followed you and didn't want kids. Like, how did you know when you changed your mind? And I was like, I mean, I kind of talk about that, like when I saw a couple on the beach, like when I was going through that existential crisis, and I saw a couple with a baby, and I was like, God, they don't really care about anything else. Like, even I was projecting, but I was like, look, they have each other and they have a baby. Like, they don't care about flying business class or impressing other people or going out. They probably are just like content with. And I remember being like, God, am I missing out on that? Like, that's kind of where it started. But
do you think there was like a feeling of like, before you had that decision of like, were you feeling like you were missing something and that's what you were searching for when you were doing like the breath work and all the stuff?
Yeah, like I think I didn't know what I was missing. Like, I feel like it was purpose, I think, that I was missing.
But deep down you knew, because your subconscious brought it up in the breath work.
Yeah. So if people say they don't want kids, I still think we need to respect that, because there's a lot of reasons. Like, it's a lot. Like, you sacrifice everything. Well, I mean, I felt like I sacrificed, like I completely changed my life. Like, everything now is for her, and it's so worth it. But I mean, for a lot of people, like their careers, like a lot for women, you have to sacrifice a lot of career, like opportunities and money and everything to have a child. And you know, some people, they've worked so hard for their career. You know, is a child worth it? For them, it might not be. So I think we need to respect women that say they don't want kids, and like and not be like, you'll change your mind, because like it is. And again, I'm very lucky with my community around me. Like, I've got my family support, everything. Like which makes the whole being a mother a lot easier and a lot more enjoyable. But if you're constantly stressed about money and you're like with the child the whole time, it can be very intense.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not going to be like, oh my God, yes, you have to do it. It's the best thing ever. Like, it is for me. Like, for me, I'm so happy, but I wouldn't be like to everyone, you have to do this.
Yeah, I get it. Okay, so let's talk about being a single mom. So
I got a load of shit for saying that.
Why?
Because apparently I'm not single enough because her dad's involved.
Oh, okay. I thought like you just meant like your mom and dad are broken up.
So did I.
Oh, okay.
But apparently it's like a competition to be a level of singleness. So
what would you say that?
I am. I'm a single mom.
Okay,
I'm
single
a mom who's
mom.
single.
And like, how? Because obviously yous were together for a little while, and then obviously that whole, you know, knowing then at that point that you're going to be a single mom with a co-parent.
Yeah, that was hard. And And I don't like, again, respect
And that
everyone.
happens a lot. Like, I'm sure there's so many people that have been through that same situation as well.
Yeah.
Like, and I even says to you, I was like, how do you even navigate it? Like, there's no rule book on how to navigate that situation.
Yeah. Oh, it's a hard one because I didn't share that much about it, and obviously trying to respect everyone involved, to keep everyone's privacy, but it was very hard. And like, especially, like, we tried our best. But to be honest, now it's worked out well. Like, the biggest thing is communication and respect, and when that goes, that's the hardest thing to deal with, because like all you want is respect and communication. But when you have that, it's grand. And now, like, as I keep saying, like, sometimes my friends, I'm like, oh, Kyla's gone now for 2 nights, and they're like, what I would do for 2 nights off. And I'm like, and to be honest, it is really good balance, because it means that I can still like go out, be myself, just have a bit of a break. And then it means then when she comes back, I'm like obsessed with you. I just want to sit on the couch and do nothing. And like, so I get it's weird. It is a nice balance, but again, because I have so much support from my parents, so like when she goes to his house like every second weekend, it's like nice that I get the alternate, as in sometimes it's just like last weekend where I'm just like, let's just do nothing and let's just go visit my cousins and play. And then the other weekends I'm like, okay, let's go. I don't even know what I do. Like, I just squeeze as much as I can into the free time, like socializing, being hungover, all that, and then back to just being a mom.
Yeah. And do you think it's like, you know, what would be your biggest struggle being like maybe a single mom in general, like throughout this whole experience?
I was only saying that to you actually earlier, that like I keep looking back and been like, how did I get through that? Just, I'd like to point out that she drinks her wine faster than me. It wasn't that I poured less.
Just red wine is my.
I wish it didn't turn her teeth black.
I know,
because I love to free drink it. Yours is so white, but mine. I mean, yours is so white that they can deal with going down a bit. Like mine, I need to whiten my teeth. It's been ages.
I haven't whitened mine in a lot. Actually, that's a lie. I whitened mine today, but that was the first time in a very long time.
I haven't whitened mine so long. But anyway, sorry. The hardest part of being a single mom, like I keep looking back at all the bits and being like, whoa, that was hard. But I don't think I realized it at the time. Like, I was just kind of getting through it, and all the joy of it, having the baby kind of didn't make it seem that hard.
Yeah, it's like a blur.
Yeah, like the newborn phase, I'm like, how did I do that? Like every night, like you're just not sleeping. You're all over the place. But yet I was.
But you've accepted that moment, or that
you're just
time
in
for
that
you.
moment. Yeah,
yeah. Because she was like saying to me earlier, she's like, when you have a child, like you just need to make sure that you have actual maternity leave. Like, don't be trying to work. Don't be trying to. And like, I'm like, oh, I'll still be able to work. Like, what do you mean I have to work? I have employees. Like, they have to. What do you mean? Like, I don't get maternity pay.
Yeah, no.
She's like, no, you have to have it off. And I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do?
I know. I was the same. Like, I had to work, and it was at the start. I thought it'd be okay, because when the newborn, they're kind of sleeping loads, and you're like sitting there going, oh, geez, I'll whip out the laptop, take on a few clients, but then they're awake more and more and more, and you're like, oh wait, I have no time to work, and that was the hard part. So like, I didn't. Like when everyone that had the babies around the same time as me, they're on maternity leave, and they're just like, it was just like trying to get her to sleep so I could do some work, but then I had to clean the house, and then it was like, right, we're moving, so I had to pack up the house every night. Then the weekends are spent doing the yoga teacher training, so I had to like get my mom or to mind her, and then come home, get her to vet. Like, it was crazy. Like, I just felt like it's, again, but in the time I was just doing what needed to be done. But now
you just adapt to the situation.
Yeah, like you just survive. Like, that's what I think. I was just reading a novel there, the woman who had twins and she was young, and I'm like, it sounds impossible, but you just make it happen.
Yeah.
And only now that she's in creche, it's just like, it's great. Like, I got so lucky because the other way everyone says you have to ring up when they're like newborn, or sorry, when you're pregnant, you have to be like,
yeah.
I didn't, because I didn't even know where I was going to be living. I kept moving around, so I was too embarrassed then. I was like, oh my god, I can't ring and be like, my baby's 1. But I did eventually, because I'd moved back to Swords, and I was like, I'm just going to ring a few places, and I think I just got lucky. She was like, we actually have a spot, and I was like, really? And it's like, it's full time. And I was like, I don't know if I need that, but to be honest, it's the best thing ever. Kyla loves the crash. It means then even the mornings are so nice because I'm not like getting up going, okay, I need to try and use the laptop whenever at any space I can. You know, it's like we get up, we have our nice mornings, we have breakfast, walk to crash, I come back, have do my work, train, have a shower, wash my hair, pick her up, and then I'm all hers again, you know. And we go to the playground and we have dinner, and I'm not like again trying to get her, and then I can watch reality TV at nighttime. Honestly, it's just that feeling of like going, okay, I'm not like,
you're getting there.
Yeah, I've just been a routine.
Yeah. So what would be your best advice for new mums?
Oh, I don't know.
I wonder how many mums I have on here. I feel like
I was so surprised how many mothers followed me after.
Yeah, like, because I feel like our age is mummies.
Yeah, and if they say our age, I'm like, yeah, we're the same age. Yeah, I think that's a thing I didn't realize. Like, obviously, sharing all the Bali content and everything was so unrelatable. As soon as I started talking about Matt, like I dropped some followers. Obviously, you know, people follow you for different reasons or unfollow you.
Yeah. But
I feel like I get so much more interaction now because obviously a lot of the people who have followed me for years that grew up with me, they're having kids now, so they're so helpful. Like if I'm like, guys, how do I any recommendations for this? Like it's been so good for all the baby stuff.
Can I also say like having Instagram followers and like honestly is the best thing ever because the advice you get.
Google.
So Stephen, whenever me and Sam were in Europe, he was so obsessed with the recommendations for the restaurants. Like he was like every day I'd be like, what's your gratitude? I'd be like, your followers, because they tell us the best restaurant. And because obviously you can see how many people say that one restaurant, so you're like, well, that is the one we're going to go to. And like we would go there and he would be eating his steak and he'd be like, I just love them. I love your followers so much. This is the best thing ever.
No, it is, because I feel like any struggle with a baby, like I'd be like, is there any way to keep baby newborns or socks on newborn babies? And you know, something I googled it and you couldn't really find out, and then the followers have the answer. Things called sock-ons.
Sock-ons?
Yeah, if you're trying to keep socks on babies, they just kind of go over the socks. The other kind of things you forget about as well, like
so many little things that you just
like the amount of things,
and even when you're pregnant as well.
Yeah,
you're just like, there's so many things you can't do.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. What killed me was not doing jiu-jitsu, but even now, actually, one of my friends, she trained up until nearly giving birth, but obviously just doing very light rolling and not, you know, no impact. But I mean, I think, and even like the whole conversation around women and training is changing so much. I really hope I was part of that, like training hard till the end.
Yeah, you really were bumping on with your bump.
I was just bored. Like, like people are like, how are you doing it? And I was like, because I'm just lying down the rest of the day. Like I was just going to jiu-jitsu, or sorry, no, going to CrossFit, coming home, watching Vanderpump Rules.
Because you're basically on your maternity leave, aren't you? You're not really.
Yeah, I wasn't, like I was doing a bit of work, but like again, I was winding down because
exhausted
I was like,
as well. Yeah.
So I was just watching telly and waiting for the baby to come. It was so boring.
Just nick up and
so
enjoy it.
That's my only advice if you're pregnant. Like just sit and enjoy the boredom. But then you get to watch loads as well when you're just feeding the baby. Then the first few weeks you just sit there just watching loads of telly, you know.
Vanderpump Rules.
Yeah. I thought Kyla was going to have an LA accent. And then it's just chaos. Then you'll never watch telly again.
Oh yeah. But now you get to watch it now when you're back, when she's in bed.
Yeah.
Where you get to drink wine. Woo. Yay.
Cheers.
So I did have a question box, and you just take a guess of what's the number one question.
The routine.
Siobhan, we're never, ever, ever going to live this down. It is like, and I'm like, how many people listen to that episode? Because to this day, people shout that at me on nights out.
There was like, so we were in COVID. We shared a lot. And
every
time we were drinking, Sinead would do the full routine on the floor and the mirror. And
you have to get the props.
There was a lot going on.
So
you surely can't remember all 13 now.
Oh my God, I could not do the routine now to save my life. I know the worst thing is, per Sam, he never got a routine because realistically, right? So if anyone doesn't know, basically, like I can't even remember how the routine came about. Anyway.
She's putting the glass down.
When I first get with someone, like you put on a show, and I put on a show and I made it into like a step routine, and I would have got a good review here and there. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So then I put it into a review, and I was telling her that I do the same thing every time but only for the first time. Right? That's all I get. I mean, come on, they're not going to get it after that. Anyway, so the routine was made after Sam. So obviously
between Sam.
So obviously we know Sam is recycled and he's upcycled. I upcycled. And obviously before him, I was young and I hadn't really been with many people when I was with him. So I really hadn't. Remember I went on the man strike and he was the first person I was with.
Oh yeah, but
yeah. So I went on the man strike, never got with anyone. I was like really heartbroken. Met Sam, and then like obviously was so heartbroken. I couldn't get with anyone else, or like I wasn't ready. I was blah blah blah. Anyway, so experience, and I also didn't have any confidence.
Didn't have an experience. You managed to curate a 13-step routine.
Oh, but that was after. That was when I got confidence. Read a few books. You know, learned more about myself. Not really about the experience of men, because they don't know how to. Well.
Digging a hole there.
I'm digging a hole. Anyway, so then obviously like the first time like, you know, I met someone new and whatever, I would have given them the routine, but you know, because I'd already been with Sam,
he didn't get it. Did he get any of the steps?
He might get to number 1 or 2 here and there, like.
Be careful, you know what happens to you.
So anyway, so this. And then everyone just like, keep asking us when we're nights out, and I'm like, I have shown it to a few people on nights out. Like, why would I do that?
There was definitely several people in the apartment when you were showing me one of the times.
Yeah. But anyway, I couldn't even tell you. I actually could not. I could probably give you the first 4 or 5.
I can't.
It's more about the confidence, the oozing confidence.
Yeah.
And I was like, do this, do that. And you were like, oh my gosh, you can't. And I'm like, but what do you mean? This is hot. This is sexy.
Oh yeah, no, I took it on board.
Yeah. So anyway, then Siobhan said it, and then she got a good review. And that was it. And then people have always wanted it, but where am I going to teach it?
Yeah, I know you can't. Maybe on OnlyFans.
OnlyFans. Somebody asked that question as well when we were doing things.
Oh yeah, do you want to read the questions?
Yeah. I don't think there's anything else we need to discuss.
No, my life's
do you approve of Sam?
But content. Yeah, big fan of Sam.
No.
I mean,
you weren't the biggest fan. Do you remember the time that I was going back and I was like, I'm ready to be with him now, and then he was like, well, you can't just come back in here, and then he didn't pick me up from the airport. No, this was years.
Are we talking with Sam or?
Babes, do you remember?
He didn't pick you up from the airport, was that not?
No.
No.
You remember, like, I broke his heart, and then I was coming back, and I was like, right, I'm ready. And he was like, no. Which fair play.
It's hard to keep up.
Well, remember when we were in Finn's?
You broke his heart. Remember, in Finn's, that time you went home with my shoes.
No, remember me, you and Becca went to Finn's beach club, like the VIP bit, and Sam rang me. You didn't like him that day.
Can't remember. I don't remember not liking Sam.
Okay, that's good. You like Sam. We love Sam. Everyone loves Sam now.
I mean, I thought he was a bit silly in the middle.
Yeah, there was a lot of silly little bits, but we don't.
Never. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like,
he's all. To be fair,
I was only just saying I'm raging now that like I don't get to properly know him. Like we've had all FaceTimes and he's been there in the background the odd time, but like I want to go drinking with him.
Oh, he's not very good at drinking.
I'd enjoy that then.
Yeah, he's not very good at it. Like he can't drink. He's like just doesn't like being drunk. Like he gets drunk and he's fun, but like he's like, let's go home, and I'm like, yes, let's go home and cuddle.
Yeah, that's a shame. Okay, so I don't really want to be there if you're shy crack.
No. He has it in his back pocket. I always say, like he's got a good session in his back pocket when he needs it. Do you know what I mean? Wait, are we doing questions? Or wait, hold on, let me just double check where we're at. Oh, actually, that's a good one to even talk about. Like, you know, making friends as a mom.
Easiest thing ever.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
I think that would be really difficult.
All you're doing is going to mom things.
Yeah, but like there's like mom things and there's like, are you coming over to drink wine with me? Can I do that when you're mom though?
Sure.
It says us right now.
Yeah. No, I remember one of the nights Louise Cooney called over. We just on a sunny afternoon and we just drank a bottle of wine with the babies just sitting there. It was like, you end up spending a lot of time with people with babies, but because you talk to them all the time, even when you're
Yeah,
you
because you're
need to
asking
talk.
questions.
Yeah, you need to talk and ask so many questions. Like there's people who I spoke to that I feel like I'm close to, might not even have met them, on Instagram because they had babies around the same time as me, and like we talk all the time. And then you go to those groups and it's always like, do you want to go for a coffee after? And I feel like I pulled back a bit because I was so busy, but everyone else, like even we go to water babies and you sit after and you like feed them and you're all chatting. And I've like gone for walks with a girl, met water babies. So you can, I find it a great way to meet. I like compared
to be
to
fair,
not.
because I suppose if you moved back home, like, and you didn't have a child, like, where would you meet these people?
Yeah.
Where would you meet these friends?
Yeah, that's, I mean, it's definitely easier with a baby than without.
Yeah. Interesting. This is actually, we did talk about this, but I just like to clear this person up because I feel like this person needs to be a bit of clarity. The reality of single parenting, because she's considering going it solo, so that obviously means that she's maybe scared.
I mean,
but she wants to.
One of the hardest things is sharing your baby, like especially in the first year. Like when most people hear separating, it's normally, I don't know, when the baby is a bit older, but like having your child not there when they're 3 months old for a night is honestly, it just feels like your heart is not there. And like, I just, especially if it's not done on nice terms, it's like, it's the hardest thing ever. Like, but it gets easier and easier. And all of a sudden then you're like, I actually need her, I need to do, especially when I was trying to work and everything, it was like, I actually needed that time to myself. Yeah. So it does get easier. And again, if you can get it on good terms, then it does work out. Like, I love the fact that when she's here, she's all mine. Like there's no bickering about people doing things, or, it's either like I do it or it doesn't get done. Like the amount of people I've spoken to and, they're in relationships and it sounds worse off than, like, as in terms of with the child, like it sounds like they have less help than I would on my own. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Because then they're looking after 2 babies.
Yeah. So I think, I definitely think if you are thinking of being on your own, go for it, because it's definitely better than being in a relationship that's not good. Yeah. And it's, not like I'm having a great time.
And then you get your 2 days off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And and as I said, you get to do, like, when she's with me, she's all mine. Yeah. But then the hardest thing ever is like sharing her, especially for special occasions or anything like that. But it's worked out so far, so good. Yeah.
Okay. What is our favorite memory of living together?
Oh my God, there's so many. I mean, like, there's so many different eras. Like, there's
a lot of energy.
Which apartment, like which villa, which apartment. We've lived in so many different houses. I can't even think. But like, even just the nicest things are just like when we're just sitting there reading together in the morning.
Oh, I loved our reading time. And I would be like a little cough and be like, just read this really interesting bit. And then you would just turn around and I would just be like, and then we would discuss this very interesting bit. That's what I definitely miss so much about you. I feel like that's my biggest thing. Like, when I read a book, obviously I have my book club, but like, which is amazing, but like, obviously I could just turn around to you and we would have this really good discussion about.
We really learned a lot and discussed so much and challenged each other, and like, and like, even now I really find that hard. Like, I find it so hard to find time to read, and I've kind of gotten back into it the last, like, if I can just manage to get Kyla to sleep a bit later, I get up and I try and read a little bit, because even just that feeling of learning something
new.
And I'm reading a really good book, but like, it's just taking me forever. But I miss that. I used to learn so much every day. Just for that, like, just read like half an hour. Yeah. Reading loads of different topics and all that. So I kind of miss that.
You need that because you need your cognitive reserve.
Yeah.
It's like a tree.
I play Wordle.
Oh my God, that Wordle. Honestly, the Wordle gives me like anxiety.
Do you not play it?
Sam plays it all the time. No, I wouldn't be good at it. Well, sometimes I try to play it with him.
You'd get bored after like 20 seconds.
Yeah, to be fair, Sam is watching TV and playing Wordle and talking to me, and I'm like, come on. Like,
my whole family plays. We have a Wordle group and we send in our results. I got Andy playing it when he was visiting me. And now he plays it every day and he's so into it. And he's like, he wants to be in our family group, but not yet. Anyway, so that's how I keep my mind.
So your favorite memory is reading a book?
I mean, there's some wild, like, we had some wild times, but I just like when I think of like the good times, it was always like just that calm in the mornings, like our little coffee and routine and working and walking. And I don't know, it was always just, I mean, sorry, we did argue. We
didn't argue.
We challenged each other.
I mean, we were very,
do you remember you were a filter queen? You wouldn't.
Yeah, Siobhan fell out with me because I had a filter. But like, it was the time of the filter eras.
And I was looking at her, I was like, do you think you need a filter? Anyway.
And she like fell out with me with that. And I was like, babes, like everyone else is wearing a filter, but I understood what she meant now, because obviously, you know, what the fuck were we doing? What the fuck was I doing?
I mean, I used to use filters as well until they just never looked good on me, so I just didn't want anyone else to use them. They'd hide my freckles and I'd look weird.
Yeah, I just think like we just got so used to it, and then you're right though. You're always fucking right.
No, you're right sometimes as well.
Yeah, but we argued like a normal human being.
It was always good, good communication. Like
we had very good communication. We were like a couple.
Yeah.
I was like, I really resent you for this morning, and you would be like, I really understand that, and I see your point of view.
I just would like you to understand that when you say 2:00 and I'm standing at the door at 2:00 and you're starting to get ready,
and I'd be like, what do you mean? Am I late?
Like, it's okay, I'm yellow.
Yeah, once we read Surrounded by Idiots, like we were like, yeah we're good now.
I was like highlighting the whole thing, been like, and it was so nice because everyone's like, that book isn't scientific, it's not based on science.
Oh yeah, so yellow was ADHD. Like yellow is not a personality, it is that person's ADHD.
Oh,
100%. Like,
see, when I'm like bluey red, I can't remember what they are, but I remember like
but the books, the thing is, like, what you say about books is it is good to read them, but also like for me, I look at that now and I'm like, when I look at the behavior, I'm like, yellow has probably got ADHD. And also when I also look at like things like Men Are From Mars and I'm reading the personality traits, I'm like, no, that actually doesn't actually go into men and per se, that goes into like avoidant behavior. So like looking at different books and thinking.
I mean, that's a problem. I hate misinformation going around either. So I'm the activist. I remember you told me that. I was like, why don't you care? You're like, you're an activist.
So basically everyone has their own purpose, and like, you know, in my opinion, that everyone has their own fight and their own way of having their purpose. Whilst I'm a light worker, I like to spread information and light and energy and positivity and like light people up. Whereas you are like activists, you're like, stop doing this, stop doing that. Why is it like I hate injustice? Why?
Yeah,
I'm like, I'm in the corner,
people being taken advantage of. Like I hate seeing people being sold something or like believing something that's not true. Like I'd see something online and I could just scroll past, but I can't.
Yeah,
I have to share it and be like, how is this fool got a podcast? Like what? And then I just get myself in trouble. And I'm like, and I look at everyone else going, I wish I just didn't care.
That's just it. We're going to do a few friend dilemmas before we go, because I did say I would do that. And I hate when I don't get them all done because there's so many. A friend started going out with another friend's husband only 4 months after their breakup.
That is not okay. It's not your friend.
I'm sorry, what?
What is this?
I'm sorry.
Husband?
Friend started going out with another friend's husband 4 months after the breakup.
So was it even a divorce?
How small is this town?
No, that's not your friend.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah, next.
This isn't easy. It's like, next. We're done. Okay. Seen a notification about OnlyFans on my partner's phone. Extremely hurt. Is it over? Is it an overreaction? Honestly, wouldn't be coping with that myself. I don't know why. I feel like, I don't know. I think that would really, I don't know if I could cope with that.
I mean, being subscribed to someone is a bit like,
but then also it's ethical. Like, what's better?
Yeah.
Porn that's unethical, they're getting paid fuck all, or somebody getting paid ethically. I understand the dilemma, because it's like, I don't know. I feel like
there should be a conversation about porn in a relationship.
Do you think?
Well, don't ask me about relationships. I know.
I always ask every single, sex expert in sex. Like I have one on every season, and every single one of them has a very different answer to porn.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Yeah, and it's really quite interesting to see everyone's take on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but don't ask me. I don't know.
Yeah.
You answer that then. What would you say?
I mean, I don't know. I'm like when you live with someone, I'm like, where does he have the time to do that?
When does that happen?
I'm like, we're so tired. What do you mean? I'm like, I don't think that happens, but it might happen.
Oh, so you don't think Sam watches porn?
Oh, I have no idea.
Oh, interesting.
I don't really know. Like, I feel like maybe when we didn't live together, or like maybe when he's away on like holidays or something, when he's not in my bed. But he's in my bed. What's he going to do? Turn over and watch porn when I'm laying there?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We share a bathroom. You know? How does it happen?
Yeah, probably when you're here.
Oh, yeah. But that doesn't count. That doesn't count. I know, that's weird. It's not to think that. I'm like, ooh, who's that bitch that he's watching? Nobody. Okay. Anyway, what would I say to that? In my own opinion, have a fucking conversation. Like a good conversation about you seeing that. It depends what you feel is. Like for me, I would just be like, that feels like not good to me. Makes me feel insecure. And I would tell him that it made me feel insecure. And then I would ask him, is there something that we can talk about in our sex life? Good book for it. Mating in Captivity.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good book.
I did read that.
Yeah, you did read that. Well, on the last podcast we were talking about that.
Oh, I can't remember anything about it.
Yeah. Okay, right. Last one. The friend that gets a boyfriend and ditches you. This is a common thing in life.
Well, I think you have to give allowances. You know, it's an exciting time.
When you get older, we would as well. You don't.
You're more in a hurry to like settle down.
I feel like when people get older as well, they kind of don't hang about with their friends as much. Like that's not true for me at all in any way, shape, or form. But that's because
I do think somewhere like Sydney, like and living away is where your friends become your family. So like it's a lot more hanging around with. Like now I hang around with my mom and dad. No, but I think it happens and. You can just keep trying to be a good friend. I don't know. I mean, there's a point where you can
honestly
feel
that would make
disrespected.
me so sad.
Yeah.
I was just saying this to her. I was like, say if any of my friends did that, I'd be so sad. Like, obviously it does happen. And also, even before your friend does that, you know some of the friends, you can be like, when she gets a boyfriend, we're gonna never see her again. Like there is people like that.
Yeah, like but also you don't want to be that person. You're like, I would be actively trying not to be that person, you know.
I'm like, look, I love my boyfriend to bits, but like, you know, I need my girl time. Like I can't wait to go with the girls and he probably can't wait to go with the boys. And then we just,
yeah.
I also feel like it depends on your dependency. Like you're dependent on someone so much and like you turn into them, you do everything for them. And then you just don't want to be away from them because you're so dependent.
It's just what happens if they break up?
Then they're so sad because they're so dependent. That's why you need to have your friends. So what are you going to do? Like, if your friend's like that, you're just going to have to just ride the wave. And just be there for... No, fuck her off?
I don't know.
Okay, and that's it for tonight. Adios.
Thanks for coming.